Hey everybody, it's Christine.
And Rhonda.
How are you? So we are the B.I.G creators and we wanted to come and communicate with you and let you know what's going on.
Been a half a minute or so since we last checked in.
Yeah, so I wonder how many people's worlds, Rhonda, are just going exponentially in so many directions. I mean, my world has been, which has been great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for us, we were talking to the events. We've been talking to the creation of B.I.G, the B.I.G movement, and it. Some of you may have perceived that it stopped because you didn't see postings,
Right.
and others of you may have perceived that it was changing.
Yep.
So why don't we each tell them, Rhonda, what was going on for us?
Cool. You want to start or you want me to go?
You go.
Cool. So I'm so grateful that I have a wealth of information and a tool set that allows me to not judge a creation and judge something that we're working on and playing with. The beauty of B.I.G, Bodacious Invitation to Greatness, is Christine and I have been speaking to this entity, if you will, for quite some time. And it was birthed when we kicked it off in January. Was it January? Gosh, it's already March.
I don't know.
And so the information came through and we created the first set of classes and it was amazing and it was phenomenal. And then after that, we were going to have a second wave, and it was actually, we were going to start it tonight, the second wave. And I was perceiving that it actually needed to be different. But at the time that I was perceiving that, I didn't really know what it needed to be different. And so as time went by and as some information came to Christine and myself, that was one of the pieces of information I was requiring to determine, oh, this may be a different component of how it can be. So, and we'll share more about, that. But what I really want you guys to know is if you perceived the drop off, you perceived it, perceived a stop or the momentum waned or however, you're spot on. However, the creation is still there. The entity is still there. The movement still wants to be there. It's just requiring it to be different. And it's requiring a different level of connection and communication and energetic contribution from Christine and myself, and a different level of, for me in the past, I have to, all the expectations and projections that have been placed on this, I had to get rid of those. And I'm actually trusting the energy and asking questions and following that trail, if you will. And it doesn't look like anything else out there. And I'm willing to admit that this may look like a failure, but I can guarantee you it's not. It's actually part of the evolution of what this wants to be. So I hope that made half a lick of sense.
It did.
Okay, cool.
What's really cool that I would like people to, you guys have got an inside track on how Rhonda and I do co-create, co-facilitate, and communicate with energy. And what's very cool, and I'm not making one different than the other, what's unique is, okay, stop. Okay, I've got like so much coming at me right now. Okay, so that I do first is massive follow through. One of the things that oh wow, who's coming in on me, talking to me in my head right now? One of the things that Rhonda does first is follow energy. We both do both, but our first our first kick is mine's follow through and hers is energy and following the energy, right? So what's really cool is that we're both willing to say, hey, this is what's coming up for me, this is what's coming up for me, and looking at it and not making one right or wrong, but what we do is we're bringing both together. So if I'm going to be making pies later today. So if you were making a pie, you're going to bring the sugar and the flour and all of the ingredients together to have this gorgeous creation. And
Right.
that's what Rhonda and I do. And sometimes it looks like, I'll go into my frustration head in 5 seconds and like, oh, why are we going ahead? And then it'll be like, stop, back up. You've got your back. B.I.G's got your back. Rhonda's got your back. Okay, now let's ask some questions.
Right.
And then when Ron and I have 5 minutes that we can actually communicate, because we're creating a lot and we're having a great time with it. And when B.I.G is like knocking at our door loudly, we got together and we started to have this conversation, and yet it's unfolding in a different way. So if you're willing to be vulnerable with what's working, what's not working, you're willing to really have your own back and say to whoever you're creating with, even if it's just you, hey, you know what, this isn't working, or I'd like to look at this, or I'd like to do this differently. That's what B.I.G is about. That's the whole essence. And it's so funny because Ron and I both do this on our radio shows. We'll come up with an amazing topic, and then we have to play it out the week.
We live it out.
Preceding. Yeah, we actually be it, which is sometimes I'm like, oh my God, what is this going to create? But this is what B.I.G is all about. Yeah. It's being willing to use all your tools in your toolbox and be vulnerable with it without making it right or wrong.
Right. I think what really wants to be heard is that this is an example of living as the question, living as all the tools that we share and talk about on a daily basis. This is living it, not just doing it and speaking about it, but being it.
Right.
And choice creates awareness. So we make choices. It gives us lots of information and feedback, and then we make different choices and ongoing choices, etc. So there was another thought that wanted to come back. So friends, okay.
And we're doing it in this reality. So we're using these tools, our coaching tools, our access tools, all of the programs and education that Rhonda and I have, we're using all of that in this reality as well. Right. And that's what's making this more and more a little bit different. And
we're perceiving the judgment and the haha, told you. Like, I can perceive all that, and it doesn't matter, because like Christine and I do, we ask the creation itself, do you still want to exist? Do you still want us to be the communicator and the liaison for you? Like, we ask the entity itself questions. And as long as it's yes, we keep asking more questions and we keep going.
Right.
If it were to say, no, I'm done, then I'll be like, okay, it's done. In this 10 seconds right now, it's still a yes. It's still go, right?
And here's the thing, guys. Whether no one chooses us or not, B.I.G is contributing to Rhonda and I. So we actually created this for us, and it's contributing to us and to our creations and to our businesses, and it's teaching us how to up level, how to step up and be more in the world with our businesses and with our desires. So absolutely. There's no such thing as a failure.
Correct. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. And this will speak to those who get it or want something. And that's the beauty of B.I.G as an entity. It's creating that community of bold, audacious, brazen, remarkable beings that know there's something greater, that they know the possibilities. And when you bring people together in a community, in a tribe, that catalyzes more open doors. It creates new lines of thinking, new areas to question, new spaces opening up, bodies changing. It changes everything. Yeah. And that's what our creation initially was us coming together and everything just opening up. And so I really don't have a clear view of where this is going. I can tell you the way we did class number 1, as we discussed, will be different. The delivery of it will be different. It still is going to be primarily the same content.
Yes.
But the way in which we put it out into the world will be different.
Yeah. And I get the same awareness. The content was kick-ass.
Yep.
And I mean, just going back into that call, even our last call, I mean, we were on fire. Everybody on that call was on fire. It was so phenomenal. And the people that were on that call, what they've been creating in the world is
You can see the difference in the level of engagement and commitment to themselves and their lives and their businesses. They have shown up. And that is what I've been asking for.
Yeah.
So whatever contribution and catalyzation we had, I'm grateful for that space. We didn't do it, they did it, but they chose to play in this space. And that's the key. So what do we want people to take away from this, Christine? From this little video?
Be willing to show up no matter what. Be willing to be vulnerable. And be willing to ask questions. And there's no wrongness. Creation is going to create whether you choose it or not. And if you would like to play more and create with Rhonda and I and this amazing movement, we'd love to have you play with us. And stay tuned because there's going to be more coming. And I'm getting it's coming sooner and sooner and sooner. And Rhonda is going to be coming here to my pad in Tirana in the middle of April.
Tirana? Where's Tirana?
Tirana. You got to be a Canadian. You got to say Tirana.
Tirana.
And we're going to be in person creating together. So get ready, folks, because we're going to blow the top off this location.
Yeah. And one thing I want to add to that, yes. And creation doesn't have to be hard, doesn't have to have force. In fact, it shouldn't be. I was listening to a beautiful meditation before we got on, and everything in nature is effortless. And so what if creation truly could be effortless? How much force and effort do we put into creation?
Come on, effortless?
Effortless. I double dog dare you to play with that one.
And effortless does not mean not doing.
Correct.
So we're not going to do the class right now, but guys, stay tuned. Please ask questions, send us comments,
B.I.G living now. We're on Facebook. Bodacious Invitation to Greatness is the website. There's not a great deal. There's some videos out there, and the new offers will be showing up there. And of course, you can find us on our radio stations, our radio shows. Wednesday nights at 8 Eastern for Christina on Inspired Choices. 10 a.m. Eastern for Rhonda. Potency is my game on A2Zen.fm. What else? How else can they find us?
I don't know. InspiredChoices.ca.
Rhonda, RHONDA at Rhonda-Burns.com. Be there.
Okay, guys, we've taken up enough of your time. Now get back to work.
See you soon. Bye.